All right.
And then, can you do a bow, like a archery? Like, what's your preferred method?
I love archery. That's what I prefer to hunt with is archery, but I also love gun hunting too. But I do it all from stick and string to flinging lead to fishing. It's just awesome. I do it all, everything. It doesn't matter from a compound bow to a recurve to a longbow to a crossbow, which is very popular nowadays. My main piece of equipment, I would say for me, is a rifle and my compound bow.
And then tell me with the bow, what's the skill? Like, and don't be afraid to kind of talk above my knowledge level because I have zero knowledge. But like, the important thing about bow hunting is, like, take your time with this or the wind or, be downwind. Like, give me a little bit of a 30 second skill chat.
All right, if you're going to be an archery hunter, you really have to learn to, be quiet because you have to get an animal within range, which is a much smaller range than what you are with a gun or a rifle, whatever, So you have to be able to play the wind, which is very, very important because all animals, their best feature on them is probably their nose. They're going to smell you sometimes a mile, half mile away. So you have to be able to play the wind, go in scent free, always have the wind in your face. You have to be able to get them close is a big thing. So you can actually make a shot. You have to be able to sit still and be quiet. And sometimes you can grunt them in, like a deer, like meh, you can make noises, get them to come in, like grunt tube, whatever. Archery is much more, can be much more complicated than gun hunting because of the fact that you have to get an animal within, let's say, 50 yards. And with a gun, you can shoot hundreds of yards. So it's just a huge difference. And it takes a big skill to be able to make a harvest on a full-size animal, a mature animal, because they didn't get mature for no reason. They're smart. They got big for a reason because they outsmarted 100 hunters before you,
Oh my God, you are so good. I love everything you say. And now I'm going to get you to make some of these noises.
Oh, Rachel, she wants to hear noises.
Full of noises. So if you want to get a blah, blah, you make this noise. If you want to get a blah, blah, make this noise. Run me through, a few different noises that you make.
Well, a few noises that you can make while, let's say, chasing whitetail in the wild is with a grunt tube, you can do like a meh. And that I do that often. Like if they're coming within range and you can't stop the deer, my most famous thing I like to do is meh. That's kind of imitating a deer. They grunt, they're grunting. That's how they communicate with each other. And sometimes I find myself communicating like a deer with my friends as I see them in the streets and I'm like, meh, and they know it's me, it's my call, if you're my friend, meh, I don't know. It's true. I don't know. It's pretty dorky.
You leave me in voicemails.
I leave all my friends. If I leave you a voicemail, it's probably going to be like, meh. And call me back, Is this a weird? It's weird. I'm weird.
Do you have any other calls of other animals?
Gosh, so when I go out west I use like a bugle call. And that's you bugle them in. So that's how a bull communicates with its cows. They're herding their cows in, So they bugle and the cows do cow mews and just it's amazing what you're going to hear in the wild because and you wonder when animals are communicating and they're just doing like these grunts and all this, it's like how do they know what they're saying to each other? You know what I mean? Like us humans will communicate, hi, how you doing? Like does meh mean hi neighbor, how you doing? I don't know. It's just a weird thing. I think about it. I think about that stuff.
What's the bugle? Can you make the noise the bucks make?
No, I cannot make a bugle noise. I'm not that good. I don't have a tube. I need a tube. I need a tube or a reed. I can't make it.
Do we have one? Do we have one handy?
I don't.
Dang it.
I don't.
Oh. God, I'm going to get you to do that in your B-roll when you do your videos. I want you to get a tube and I want you to be like, Burr!
Yeah. I mean, I'll call in every boy in the neighborhood with that call. You know what I mean?
I love it. Oh, you are such a card. You are amazing. Okay, so I've got that. What's one of like the biggest badass thing you've done? The most badass thing I've ever done is...
The most badass thing I've ever done was stay in the mountains of Colorado by myself for 17 days. Even the locals out there were a little nervous because they're like, hey, here's this girl out here just trying to chase elk with her bow, and here I have a pistol on my hip just in case I run into a bear or, you know, something crazy where you need to defend your life. And even the locals were a little scared. Hey, here's this girl out here running around by herself chasing elk. But to me, that really was something special, and it struck a fire in my soul to chase every animal I can chase. My dad did not think I was coming home. My family didn't think I was coming home. They were nervous because I fell in love with out there, and I probably should have just stayed out there, you know. It would have been cool.
Well, speaking of which, Alaska, 4 months. If it takes off like the Alaskan bush people, you know, could be, you could be out there a long time. I mean, how is that going to make you feel? Like, it's going to be seasonal. You're going to start by harvesting salmon, then you're going to go and trap smaller animals, and then you're going to hunt the moose. You know, tell me why that strikes a chord with you. You know, I want to go to Alaska and live off this land and travel around, because from what I understand, the fish, the smaller animals, and the moose are like a broad distance, so you've got to be fairly nomadic, and you'll build shelters along the way. You'll have a main shelter that you'll come back and forward to, but there's a lot of traveling. So tell me why this, you know, sings to your soul.
Going to Alaska would... Or how do you want me to word that to ask that question?
Well, you know, like living off the land in Alaska, you know,
okay.
Being nomadic, hunting, fishing, you know, being self-sufficient, like whatever you call it, you know, that would be like a dream come true. I'm already doing it. It would just be pushing me to the limit, or whatever it means to you.
Going to Alaska would mean the world to me, actually, because I've never been there, and I've never chased moose, and I've never been able to catch their kind of king salmon that they have, the pink salmon, and their reds and all that. We don't have that where I come from, and I just feel like that would drive me more, just the adventure itself, and being able to see the world, the adventure, that would drive me completely, because life is an adventure, you know what I mean? It is what you make it, and I'm not going to just be bored and sit at camp all day. I'm going to go adventure. I'm going to go pick berries. I'm going to go try to catch fish. I'm going to sightsee. I'm going to scout. I'm going to build things, you know. It's just, life's an adventure.
And just talk to me about hard work. Like, you know, hard work doesn't faze me. Hard work, you know, because you'll get up in the morning and your whole goal for the day is, I have to hunt and prepare food to survive. Like, you know, you live to work and work to live in a different way in the real world where you live to work and work to live.
Well, if you're going to go to Alaska and try to live off the land, you cannot be lazy. There's no lazy about it, because if you have to find your own food, you have to find your own water. You might have to boil the water to get it where it's even able to drink, you know what I mean? And you might have to build your own traps. You might have to build your own forts and hideouts or whatever you want to call it. I mean, there's a huge difference from going and living in the real world, like what we call it. We're in the real world where just we can go to McDonald's and get a burger. When you're up in Alaska, you're not going to go to McDonald's and get a burger. You're probably going to go stick a rabbit or a squirrel or whatever you can at the moment to even survive and get the calories and the food and the water, everything. Like, there's no McDonald's out there. You're going to kill something and eat it.
Oh my God, perfect. That's such a good description. Now, talk to me. So obviously we live in this world, and we want to kind of get this real difference between, you know, the shitty real life and this amazing nomadic colony. You know, what is it about this real world that is so different to, because when you talk about being out in the wild, your face lights up. You're very different.
Yeah.
So talk to me why you want to run. Oh, and stop and start the camera.